Merhaba Kemal, nasılsın? İyi be Sercan, ne olsun ya? Sen nasılsın? Ben pek iyi değilim. Hayırdır? Her şey yolundadır umarım. Today, I'm going to teach you how you can introduce yourself in Turkish. Ben Sercan, which means I am Sercan. Ben Sercan. Grammatically, the full form is ben Sercan'ım. However, in introductions, we drop the suffix and simply say ben Sercan. It is something like saying I Sercan. You can also use your last name when necessary. Ben Mehmet Çınar. Ben Mehmet Çınar. I am Mehmet Çınar. In Turkish, we always use our first names. If you want to say your full name, your name comes first and then you say your last name. You can also use benim adım Sercan. Benim adım Sercan. Or benim ismim Sercan. Benim ismim Sercan. Both of them mean my name is Sercan. Ad and isim, both of them mean name. Both are correct, but ad is slightly more common in everyday speech. I would like to point out that when we introduce ourselves, ben Sercan is more common than benim adım Sercan. You're going to see a couple of conversation examples in this video. When you want to ask someone his or her name, you would say adınız nedir or isminiz nedir formally. Adın nedir or ismin nedir informally. Actually, sometimes you will hear that we tend to make this even shorter and just say adınız or isminiz, which basically means your name. This is also common in daily speech and sounds natural. You can also hear this often in places like banks. A representative may ask you adınız or isminiz to learn who you are. Let's move on. I would like to say that it is always safer to use the formal form, unless you are sure that you can use the informal form. The formal form is used with people you don't know, people who are older than you, your co-workers at work unless you are good friends, people who you respect, and so on. And you would answer this question only with your name or your name and your last name together. For example, adınız nedir? Sercan. You do not really answer this question like benim adım Sercan. And when you want to say what is your name as a continuation of this dialogue, you will just say sizin, which means yours formally, or senin, which means again yours, but this time informally. Now let's make a couple of conversation examples. Merhaba, ben Sercan. Merhaba, ben Kemal. Tanıştığımıza memnun oldum. Ben de. Another formal one. Merhaba, merhaba. Adınız nedir? Sercan. Sizin? Kemal. Tanıştığımıza memnun oldum. Ben de. Another formal one. Merhaba, merhaba. Adınız neydi? Sercan. Sizin? Kemal. Tanıştığımıza memnun oldum. Ben de. Another formal one. Merhaba, Sercan ben. Sizin adınız neydi? Kemal. Memnun oldum tanıştığıma. Ben de. In this conversation, I said Sercan ben. This is also very common in spoken Turkish. Turkish word order is very flexible. And adınız neydi is also softer and more polite way of asking. Of course, we can make more similar examples, but now let's go on. If you want to ask how someone is, you will say nasılsınız, nasılsınız formally, or nasılsın, nasılsın informally. Both of them mean how are you? The answers can be iyiyim, teşekkürler. I'm good, thank you. İyiyim, çok teşekkürler. I'm good, thank you very much. Çok teşekkürler, iyiyim. Thank you very much, I'm good. Now, it is time to ask back. In this case, you would say, siz nasılsınız? Siz nasılsınız? Formally. Or, sen nasılsın? Sen nasılsın? Informally. When you ask the question back in a conversation, you will need to add siz or sen personal pronouns to the question accordingly. In case you only say nasılsın or nasılsınız when you are asking it back after being asked, it will sound very unnatural. The answer will be, for example, ben de iyiyim, çok teşekkürler. Ben de iyiyim, çok teşekkürler. I'm good as well. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at the following formal conversations. Nasılsınız? İyiyim, teşekkürler. Siz nasılsınız? Ben de iyiyim, çok teşekkürler. Another one. Nasılsınız? İyiyim, teşekkürler. Ya siz? Ben de iyiyim, çok teşekkürler. In this conversation, ya siz is a very natural and common way to say, and you? For sure, you can also hear the following responses when you ask someone, nasılsın or nasılsınız. Specifically when you ask your friends or the people you already know. İyi, good, fine. İyidir. This implies, I guess, I'm fine. İyidir ya, ne olsun? This implies, I guess, I'm good. What else could it be? We usually don't say we feel bad when somebody asks how we are. In general, the answer you will hear is iyi. If we want to say we feel bad, we would say pek iyi değil. Pek iyi değil. Instead of saying kötü, we would say pek iyi değil to sound softer. Let's take a look at the following casual, informal conversations. Merhaba Kemal, nasılsın? İyi ya, ne olsun? Sen nasılsın? İyiyim ben de, teşekkürler. Another one. Merhaba Kemal, nasılsın? İyidir Sercan, ne olsun ya? Sen? Ben pek iyi değilim. In general, when someone responds negatively, depending on how close they are, this brings more curiosity to the conversation. In the meantime, when the speakers are not really close, negative responses are less common. Take a look. Merhaba Kemal, nasılsın? İyi be Sercan, ne olsun ya? Sen nasılsın? Ben pek iyi değilim. Hayırdır, her şey yolundadır umarım. In this conversation, be adds a casual, friendly tone. İyi be Sercan. I will talk about be and ya in detail in another video. And hayırdır is a very common expression used to ask someone what happened or is something wrong, usually with curiosity, surprise, or a slight suspicion. It literally means, hopefully it is good. Alright, this is it from me for today. And we will continue to this topic in another video. If you have any questions, let me know. See you in the next videos. Görüşmek üzere.